Hello everyone. In this lecture we will talk about the epithelial attachment of the tooth. So in this video I put everything in one drawing so we can follow up and see what is different between the junctional epithelium, the attached gingiva, the fibers, the gingival fibers, the principal fibers, and everything as we can see here. The gingiva is divided into attached gingiva, free gingiva, and junctional epithelium. The attached gingiva is the gingiva that is attached to bone. It is keratinized and characterized by the presence of reety pigs. Reety pigs present in attached gingiva and free gingiva. The best difference or the most histological difference to differentiate between the junctional epithelium and the attached gingiva and the free gingiva is that the junctional epithelium doesn't have reety pigs. As we can see here, the cementum and the alveolar bone connected with many fibers called the principal fibers of periodontal ligament. The parts of these fibers that is embedded into the bone is called sharp edge fibers. This is how cementum, the tooth, and the bone are attached together. But here in the junctional epithelium, the gingiva is attached to the surface of the tooth, but there is no sharp edge fibers. There is no direct connection into the tooth. So what is happening here? As we can see, what I'm drawing here is the basal lamina layer of the basement membrane. The basal lamina has intrusions into the lamina propria. These intrusions are called reety pigs. But when we come to the junctional epithelium, there is no intrusions to the basal lamina. What happens is that we have here the epithelial layer and here the basal lamina. All around the gingiva we have keratinized layer and the layers of the epithelium, and the outside is the oral cavity. But here we have epithelial cells, and these epithelial cells is different in that they have two basal laminas. We have here the basement membrane, and underneath it is the lamina propria. In the tooth side, the basal lamina is continuous and is called the internal basal lamina. This is the external basal lamina, and this is the internal basal lamina. We don't have a full basement membrane. We only have an internal basal lamina, and the epithelial cells is attached to it by hemidesmosomes. This is the first layer, and it is called the junctional epithelium. Beneath it we have this part above the alveolar crest, and we have fibers that attach from the cementum to the gingiva and the alveolar bone. This layer is called fibrous gingival attachment. We have here fibrous gingival attachment. We have 5 subgroups of fibers. I wrote them here. As we can see, we have fibers that go from the cementum into the gingiva. These are called the dentogingival fibers. And we have fibers, I'm drawing here as dots because they are going in circles around the tooth. These fibers are called the circular fibers. So we have dentogingival fibers and circular fibers. The dentogingival fibers and circular fibers help to maintain the integrity of the gingiva. We have also fibers that originate from the crest, the alveolar crest, and goes into the gingiva. These fibers is called the alveolo-gingival fibers. The alveolo-gingival fibers originate from the alveolar crest and attach into the lamina propria of the gingiva, are responsible to attach the gingiva to the bone. The fourth subgroup is these fibers here that originate from the cementum and attach into the periosteal layer of the bone, and these are called dentoalveolar layers, dentoalveolar fibers, and they are responsible to protect the principal fibers underneath them and help to attach tooth to the bone. They help in attaching tooth to the bone and protect the underneath principal fibers of the periodontal ligament. The fifth group are called the transeptal fibers, and they go from the cementum of one tooth to the cementum of the another tooth, the adjacent tooth, but they are called, but some histologists consider them as type of principal fibers of the periodontal ligament. So this is about the gingival fibers. What about the principal fibers of the periodontal ligament? The principal fibers, we have many types. First of all are the cervical fibers. These cervical fibers that present in the cervical region of the tooth, they are the alveolar fibers. They are responsible to protect the tooth from tilting and extrusive and intrusive movements and rotation and tilting and extrusive and intrusive forces. Down here we have the horizontal group. These fibers are horizontal, go from the cementum to the alveolar bone horizontally, and they are responsible to protect the tooth, to anchor the tooth to the bone, and withstand the intrusive and withstand rotational and tilting movements only. The other fibers here are the oblique fibers. These fibers go from the bone on a level to the tooth in a lower level, and these are responsible to protect the tooth from intrusive movements mainly, and also they help in withstanding rotational forces. The last subgroups are in the apical region that go from the alveolar bone to the tooth, and they are responsible to protect the tooth from extrusive forces and rotational forces. We have also the interradicular group, protect the tooth from tilting, rotation, and extrusive and intrusive forces. And that's it. Thank you.